I think that's where his evolution has commenced. Esteemed brother Chandurkar, Gayatri Bhavi, sister, Justice Samre, Justice Anil Kilor, President of the Bar and Secretary, my Guru in a way, Justice Sirpurkar is here, all judges of the High Court, members of the Bar, senior advocates, registry and other members. This is the second time that I am coming here, and this time I am more enthusiastic for having sat with my brother for some time, and I already have great memories of our collaboration in the court. I am also carrying messages of two of my colleagues and my Chief Justice. I asked my Chief, what do you want me to say? He said, first and foremostly, tell them that because of a prior commitment, I am not able to come. I said more. Then he said, Brother Chandurkar, for him, work is worship. He said he enjoyed his tenure in Nagpur while he was conducting proceedings here. He sat with him for a long time, and he said he had great memories. I asked Justice Deepankar. He said, there is one judge the entire bar has accepted so much that the bar virtually loves him. And he said he would also rely on him and not take any decision without consulting him. I asked Varale. He said, Bhai Sahab, main kal bolu? Then he said, next day he called me very early in the morning. And he said, Aisa hai, sir. He shifted to Bombay because his father was working there. And by the time his father retired from service, he had already put in much effort and made a name for himself. But when his father wanted to shift back to Nagpur, he left everything, lock, stock and barrel, and came back to Nagpur to start all over again. He says, this is a great value in him, that career be whatever, but then the duty towards his father and family remained with him. This, he said, is an extraordinary feature of Justice Chandurkar. We speak about professional achievements from time to time. Like anyone, we build our career step by step, brick by brick. Our denials from time to time of the better things in life, and over a period you secure a good name for yourself and are stabilized in the profession and start getting some work. This happens to all those who are successful in the profession. Behind that phase of success, I think there was already a personality which was built in him, secretly and without sharing with anyone, realizing what are the real values in life and continue to nurture them. And as the profession changes, and when he became a judge after being a lawyer, the duties were different, obviously, but then the personality continued to be the same, I suppose. How he was as a lawyer, I think people who knew him intimately, even as a judge, he was the same. Soft-spoken, humble, brevity in his speech, sincerity to the core. Those qualities reflected yet again as a judge. And then when he came to Supreme Court, I had the opportunity of sitting with him. I think yet again, as he performed his duties, I could see the personality behind him, which was born in him early in life and continued as he passed through profession and judgeship, and he came to the Supreme Court. He was an author. He has a great interest in cricket. He continues to enjoy those. But there is some facet which I just wanted to share with you that relates to a thought which came to my mind as to how this profession deals with two important values. One is speech and one is truth. How do we deal with these two? They are very integrally connected to one another. As a lawyer, speech is absolutely important for us. And as a judge, speech in the sense of written text in the form of judgments are also equally important. What is it? What is that connect that we see in the process of advocacy as well as a judge? The relationship of speech and truth, so to say. As adversarial litigation, I'm just sharing this thought with all of you because it's a Bar Association's conference. And provocation for sharing this with you is my esteemed brother. That's the provocation which makes me share this thought with you. And while my written notes is something else, what I am sharing with you is something which came to my mind. Something which came to my mind as I boarded the flight in the morning. See, this is all adversarial litigation, right? And the purpose of it is to find out the truth. Simple. There's an advocate, there is a defense, there is a prosecution, and then there is a judge. All three have the common effort of finding out what exactly is the truth. So decipherment of the truth is the purpose and object of the judiciary. Then if truth is to be found, the means of finding out the truth is through a dialogue, is an argument before the court. So what are the parameters of that argument? So that thought was there in my mind for a very long time. As when I read one phrase of Kalidas, it triggered much more thought. It said, Satyaya mitabashinam. It says, in order to attain truth, you must speak less. That was a very big challenge. If truth is to be found, the principle is you must speak less. How does the profession of lawyers manage with this dilemma? At the same time, how does a judge manage with it? Judge has to manage it in the context of writing judgments. Advocate has to manage it in the context of brevity in arguments. How is the world now today? Today the situation is that ask this question to yourself. If you know an answer in a debate and the question is raised, will you keep quiet? We will be the first persons to answer. We always want to be in the center stage. That is what the profession demands. That is what even the requirement of being always noticed demands. That is how the system is working. We always need to be in the forefront. We always need to state and be the first. That is the requirement. That is the method of recognition also. It is in this context we may also realize that we are perhaps little moving away from what the truth is. The challenge for a lawyer is to make his arguments precise and brevity. For the need for such a decision is to be closer to truth. At the same time, the compelling need, I am underlining that line, the compelling need of a judge is to speak less anyway, which doesn't really happen, and to write little, to write precise, to write as small as possible, and to convey the truth. that is where the truth will be glaring. This is, I think, is a sadhana. It is an exercise which we have to undertake yet again, because we seem to have moved away with the social media and the requirement to speak so much. Every word gets reported in the news, and sitting judges might get attracted. And worse is, post-retirement judges think that that's the time has come when I have to talk now, as if it's a full-time talk. I think that's not the way the system should work. The way the system should work is measured speech, measured talk. Think before you say. Kalyana hitam proktam. See if this word actually leads to truth, number one, and whether that speech leads to prosperity of one and all. We keep these two principles in mind, I think our profession will do much better. The provocation for saying this, again I come back, is two things. Of course, you all know there's nothing I am going to tell you about Brother Chandurkar. Restraint in speech is his quality. You ask, only then if it is necessary he will say, or else he will keep quiet, and in that silence there is an answer. If you reflect on it, you will realize that he is actually a very, very powerful person. You know, power is not by transferring one to another place. Power is in the context of his control over his speech. It's not an easy thing. It's not an easy thing. It's built over a period of time with his practice and from his younger formative days. That way, you are powerful in the sense that you know what you are saying, you have control over what you say, and you have control over what you write. There was a little, not a complicated case, but both parties came before us in an arbitration matter, submerged us with facts, two rival brothers fighting, two families fighting. We heard the usual overstated case by the lawyers on both sides, unnecessary facts dumped on us, additional arguments dumped on us. Then that quality must exist in every judge. As they say that the swan takes the water and milk and ejects the milk out. When I requested when a brother said, can you write a decision, judgment on this? He said, straight away, in about a week, 10 days time, no reference to any of the irrelevant facts. All the facts which had no bearing on the decision making were completely excluded. Precise facts interconnected to one another, straight leading to the decision that needs to be taken, were arrived at without any difficulty, simple as ever, as straightforward as they were, and the conclusions were drawn. I was a bit jealous to see how beautifully he crafted the judgment. It's a quality. It doesn't come automatically. It's a quality. It's a sadhana, I said. You need to train yourself to argue. You need to train yourself to write. These two qualities need to be built. Our youngsters should be taught how to speak precisely. I was yesterday speaking to members of the Bar Association for rectifying the Supreme Court rules. We have not till now collaborated with lawyers for decision making. We have only permitted lawyers to address us on their argument and go away. Where is that obligation on the shoulders of a lawyer to see that both the petitioner and respondent lawyer sit together few minutes before the case is taken up and decide which are the permissible arguments here and confine their arguments to this and help a judge in arriving at a judgment. That obligation on the shoulders of the lawyers was not put till now, it may not be fair because I'm just a 3-year-old judge as against many of you. But equally, I'm saying that time has come when actual collaboration must take place and some amount of responsibility about the decision making also must rest on the shoulders of the lawyers, not simply the baby of a judge. So that's the advantage that we have in Justice Chandurkar, who has that power in him to translate a problem into a simple solution, and that's an asset which Nagpur has parted and fortunately given us in the Supreme Court. We are grateful to the Nagpurians for having given us Brother Chandurkar. He is a real asset to us, and I'm extremely happy to have participated in this function. Last word is that I believe that justice dispensation requires disappearance of a judge. A judge should not be seen. Judge has no business to be there in the process except that he decides. His personality, so to say, as an individual, having written a better judgment, all this is unnecessary. Judge does nothing more than decides, and he disappears, quote unquote. He is a judge who has disappeared, but his decisions only speak, and they speak volumes. Thank you very much for giving